Hi, thank you so much, my good friend, for tuning in to this channel. My name is Darren Fee. Today, there is another exciting episode on polynomials. Now, how do you find the quotients of a given polynomial? And this is an interesting episode because if you understand the concepts, you should be able to finish any polynomial question in less than 5 seconds. So if you are ready, let's take some key important takeaway. Now, by the method that we are going to implement, we have to understand this, that the quotient of a synthetic division always has a degree that is less than the degree of the dividend. Meaning, if you are given a given polynomial and then you do your division, by the time you finish, the highest degree in your answer must be one less than the degree in the question. Now, we also want to lay this foundation. Now, in basic mathematics, 9 divided by 4 is equal to 2 plus 1 over 2. That is, when 4 divides 9, the quotient is going to be 2. But then there will be 1 remaining. So that 1 remaining is here. And then the number used to divide the 9 is 4. So we have it here. And bringing this into mathematically correct presentation, we say that the dividend, that is the 9, over the divisor is equal to the quotient plus the remainder over the divisor. So the quotient is 2, the remainder is 1, and then the divisor, number used to divide the 9, is 4. Now we are good to go. So we have this in a very simple presentation. Now I also want to encourage, if you have not watched the part 1, kindly do so. So this presentation will be much more easier for you. So let's go. Divide 3x cubed plus x squared plus 3x plus 5 by x plus 1. So the question simply wants us to know that if x plus 1 can divide this function, then x plus 1 is a factor of this function. And by the factor theorem, if you want to know the factor, simply equate this factor to 0. Then you solve for x. So if I have x plus 1 is equal to, if I equate it to 0, and I am looking for x, obviously I'll get x is equal to -1. So that is an important step that we need to do. So with the x is equal to -1, that -1 is always the first item you write. So this -1 comes from equating this to 0. So x plus 1 is equal to 0, and then you make x the subject, you are going to get -1. So that -1 is what I have here. And then let's come to the other numbers we see in the right hand of your presentation. So how do we get these things? We actually got this from the question. So these represent the coefficients of the variables we have in the question. So for example, the coefficients of x cubed is 3. So this 3 is what we have here. And then the coefficients of x squared is 1. So we have that 1 here. And then the coefficients of x is 3. We have the 3 here. And then this plus 5 we have here. So that is +5. Now that we are done with the first episode, how do we get the remaining ones? So let's go. Now at all times, whatever number you have here, you always have to bring that number to the down here. If you are getting 10 here, you bring 10 here. If this one were to be 6, you bring 6 here. And remember, we got this number from the first coefficients. So this 3 is what we see here. If this one were to be 5, we would have had 5 here. And so whatever number you have here, you bring it down to this side. So this 3 is coming from the 3 here. Now, whatever number you write down, so this 3, you must always remember any down number will be used to multiply the number you have here. So -1 times 3, that will be -3. And then you are going to write it at the next number on the right hand side. So the next number is 1. So the minus 1 times 3, which is giving us negative 3, should be written under the 1. So we have it here, minus 3. Remember, minus 1 times this 3 is giving us 3. Now we want to add these two numbers. So 1 plus negative 3 will give us minus 2. Once again, every number you write here, the ones in white, after getting them, remember to multiply them with the number here. So this negative 1 will multiply negative 2. So negative 1 times negative 2 will give us positive 2. So I have the 2 here. And then once you have this, you must always remember, after writing the numbers here, you must add it to the 1 at the top. So 2 plus this 3 will give me 5. So I have the 5 here written. And also this 5 is down. So we multiply this 5 by the negative 1 here. So minus 1 multiplied by 5 will give me negative 5. And that goes to the next number on the right. So it comes to this side, minus 5. And then once I have this, you add the 2. 5 plus minus 5, we are getting 0. Now let's quickly go over it for better understanding. Once again, to get this, the first number here, you must equate the factor to 0 and then solve for x. So x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then when you group like terms, you are going to get x is equal to negative 1. So that negative 1 is what we have here. And then these items, these numbers, we got them, okay, from the function. You are only writing the coefficients of the numbers in the function. So for example, x cubed, its coefficient is 3. So this 3, we have it here. And then x squared, with the coefficient is 1. We have 1 here. Then x, x, its coefficient is 3. So we have 3 here. And then this 5, we have the 5 here. And we said that the first number you have, the first number, you always send it way down. So we have this 3. And then every number you write down must be multiplied by the 1 here. So minus 1 times 3 will give us minus 3. And it comes this way. And then after writing this, you add these two. 1 minus 3, we are getting 2. Once this minus 2 is also down, multiply negative 1 by negative 2. And we are getting 2. And then you add these two numbers, we have 5. And then this one is down, so you multiply minus 1 by this 5. We are getting negative 5. So we have it here. And then you add these two numbers, we are getting 0. Now, if you watch the part 1, you will understand that always the last number here is always the remainder. What does this mean? It means when x plus 1 divide this function, the remainder is going to be 0. Okay, so what is the actual answer? Now, how do we go by it? Remember, we said earlier that the coefficients of a synthetic division always has a degree that is 1 less than the degree of the dividend. Remember, dividend is the question. So here the highest degree is s cubed. Okay, the highest degree is s cubed. And then when we come to the answer, the coefficients must have a degree that is 1 less than this. So if the highest is 3 and then 1 less than, obviously that is going to be 2. So the first answer we had here, the one down, the first one, you just add s cubed to it, s squared to it. So we have s squared added to this, making it 3s squared. And then this is minus 2. You are adding, so you are reducing it by 1. S squared, then we have x, then no x at all. Okay, so we added s squared to this, we get 3s squared. And then here, minus 2, you simply add x to it, and we are getting minus 2x. And then for the 5, you don't add anything to it, so we are getting 5. So that means when x plus 1 divide this function, your answer is going to be 3 plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 5. So basically, that's what we get. Now we go through the possible answers and see which of these tally with this one. Okay, so you can see clearly that the one that matches is going to be the option C. So option C, we have 3x squared minus 2x plus 5. So 3x squared minus 2x plus 5. Now on the downside, let me explain this carefully. So what happened is that here the remainder is 0. Now assuming this one was not 0, and let's say we had a different number here, maybe 2, okay, then we will have the quotients is what we have gotten here, then plus the remainder over the divisor. The divisor is the factor used to divide this. So assuming this one were to be 1, then the final answer would have been 3x squared minus 2x plus 5, and then plus the remainder, that is 1 over the divisor. Now to get a better understanding, the next example is going to give a bit more clarity to it. So let's now move on to the second option. Now with the second question, we have divide x to the power 4 minus 4x squared plus 7x plus 15. We are dividing it by x plus 4. Now let us take note of this, very important. You see that the degree from x to the power 4, there was no x to the power 3, and then the question jumped to x squared, meaning 1 degree is missing. So whenever a degree is missing, it means its coefficient is going to be 0. Okay, so first of all, we equate this to the factor to 0. So x plus 4 is equal to 0. You find x, you are going to get x is equal to negative 4. So that negative 4 is what we have here. Okay, when you equate this to 0, you are going to get x is equal to negative 4. So that negative 4 is what we have here. Then let's come to this. Now you see that the first one, the highest degree, its coefficients. Remember, everything we have here are the coefficients in the question. So the coefficients of x to the power 4 is 1. So we have the 1 here. And then you ask why this 0. It is 0 because from x to the power 4 to the x squared, there was something missing. That is x to the power 3 was missing. So because that one was missing, we assume that its coefficient is 0. So that is how come we got this 0 there. I believe it's okay. Then so we are done with this. Then the next one, so from x to the power 3, we go to x to the power 2. So x to the power 2, its coefficient is minus 4, as you see here. So here we have negative 4. It must be done in ascending order. Okay, it must be done in that order. So let's go for 7 for x. Okay, x, its coefficient is actually 7. So this 7 is what we see here, 7. And then for 15, the coefficient obviously is 15. So that is how come we got this. To make things more clearer for all of us, we are saying that you must first equate the 1 dividing to 0. So x plus 4 is equal to 0. Then you solve for x, meaning the 4 will cross. We are going to get x is equal to minus 4. So this minus 4 is what we have here. And then these ones are coming from the function. You are going to write the coefficients in the function. So for the x to the power 4, 8 coefficients is 1. So we have that 1 here. But you can see that between x to the power 4 and then x to the power 2, x to the power 3 was missing. And we are saying that whenever any degree is missing in the question, it means its coefficient is 0. So we have this 0 here. And then x to the x squared, the coefficient is minus 4. We have it here. And then x, the coefficient is 7. We have it here. And then the 15, we also have it here. Okay, now you realize from all that we are doing, always the very first number within, not the one outside. The very first number at the top, you always send that one down. So this one is what we have here, this one. and then any number down must be used to multiply the one outside. So negative 4 will multiply this one, and that will give us minus 4. So minus 4 times 1, we have minus 4. And then we are adding these two vertically. So 0 minus 4, we are getting minus 4. So that's how come we got this minus 4. And then once it is down, always remember to multiply it with the one outside. So negative 4 times negative 4 giving us 16. And then what we simply have to add the top and the down. So minus 4 plus 16, that gives us 12. And then having said that, this is also at the down. So you must remember all the numbers here. Once you finish writing them, don't forget to multiply them with the one here. So negative 4 will now multiply the 12, and that gives us negative 48. So minus 48, we now add the top one and then the down one. So 7 minus 48, we are getting minus 41. And then the down one here, once again, must be used to multiply with this. So minus 4 times negative 41. That gives us 164. And then we add these two. So 15 plus 164, we are getting 179. Remember, this is the remainder. So the actual quotient, okay, is going to be the ones on the left, but the last one down is always the remainder. And then we said that when you are adding variables to the answers you have gotten, it must always be one less than the highest degree in the question. So the highest degree in the question is x to the power 4. That means when we are given this degree, it must be minus 1. So 4 minus 1, we are going to get 3. So it means this one will take a degree of x to the power minus 3, x to the power minus 2, x to the power this one just add x to it, and then here there is no x. So adding x to the power 3 to this, we are getting x cubed. And then adding x squared to minus 4, we are getting minus 4x squared. And then adding x to this, we are getting 12x, and then minus 41. So ideally, this is the actual coefficients. But then there is a remainder. Okay, so the remainder 179 is what we have here, divided by the divisor. Remember, the function was divided by x plus 4. Okay, divided by x plus 4. So this x plus 4 is what we see here. So this is actually the answer for this. Now we go through the possible answers and see which one of these tally with this. So you can see clearly this is minus 4. So can we pick this? S cubed minus 4x squared plus 12x minus 41 plus 179 over 4. So definitely that is the correct answer. So the answer for this is option B. If this is your first time, it may look a bit complicated, but kindly do more practice and you see that this is the easiest method you can ever use as far as polynomials is concerned. My name is Darlin Fee, and stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe because there are a lot of quality videos coming your way. And we also want to teach how to use calculator and things like that. Thank you so much, and we love you so much, and we say God richly bless you. Bye bye.